Hey guys, how's it going? It's Molly. I'm here today to do a chatty get ready with me. I I don't know why that was a question, but it was. Anyway, this is the look that I came up with. Pretty easy. Nothing groundbreaking, but here we are. And yeah, I'm just going to sit down and chat with you guys about parenting because that is something that is near and dear to my heart. And I'm going to just kind of help you get to know me a little bit more. So if you're interested in any of that, then just keep watching. Okay, so the products that I'm going to be using are just some things from my project pan, some things from my Shop My Stash. They're just, it's not going to be like a earth-shattering, groundbreaking look. It's just going to be simple and easy and something that I personally feel comfortable doing while I'm talking, because sometimes talking and doing makeup is challenging for me. So I've decided, I'm cleaning off my brushes right now, but I've decided that the topic of today's video is going to be parenting. Which is obviously like, that's not just a topic. That is a broad range of possibilities right there. But I don't know. Maybe nobody cares. Maybe some people care. If you don't care, sorry. Stay for the makeup. But I don't know. So for those of you who don't know, I have two kids. I have a 10-year-old who's going to be 11 in a matter of weeks. Sorry, my dog just, some big movement just came out of the living room. I'm not sure what happened. So I have a 10-year-old who's going to be 11, and then I have a 17-month-old. Is that a spider? There's a big old spider on my wall. Hello, friend. I am not going to do anything to it. It can live right there. Anyway, it's not that big. It's like a house spider. They're little. We're not in Australia. So it's been an interesting experience going from one child to two, and there being such an age gap. Also, I am sorry, my little dog is wandering. He's very old and I think very confused. And Sebastian, come here, boo-boo. He can't hear. He can hear some noises, like snapping, or maybe he just, I don't know. Buddy, come on. You gotta just lay down. He's looking for a soft place to lay, and there's no clothes on the floor for once, so he has nowhere to go. And his bed is dirty and in the laundry room, so I'm going to go help him get on a piece of furniture, and I'll be right back. Okay, time will tell if he's actually going to like chill out and lay down. Okay, so as I was saying, it's been really interesting seeing, it's been an interesting experience having kids that are so far apart in age. I used to feel kind of sad that my kid was just getting older and older and older, and I wasn't able to give him a sibling in what I thought was a timely manner. Because like we went through almost 3 years of infertility before we just happened to get pregnant with our youngest. And my oldest had been asking for a sibling since he was 2. So I wasn't even married then. I was a single mom, met my husband when he was 4. Anyways, this isn't about that. So I used to really worry that them being so far apart in age was going to be a problem. But oh my goodness, when I say that my oldest just like eased into the role of a like excellent big brother, I'm not kidding. He is, I have a really great big brother. My big brother is really great. He doesn't hold a candle to my oldest. And I think it's because of the age difference, honestly. Like, my oldest is able to put his own needs aside and, realize that Zeke is needing something And that's been really incredible. And he dotes on him. He's super protective. It's been just such a wonderful experience being able to watch their relationship. And Zeke loves his brother. It's adorable. He is very much enamored with Bubba, as we call him. And I personally am just stoked about it. I think that has been one of like my biggest joys with parenting, is seeing their relationship flourish. Now, I mean, of course, I had wished that they would be closer in age so that they would be like really good friends. But the reality is they're both going to have their own friends. Like, we can find friends. But this relationship that they're developing, this like big brother, little brother situation, you can't necessarily replicate that through friendship. Like I think it's going to become its own sort of entity, its own thing. And I'm really hopeful that it's going to continue to kind of bloom and blossom into this, it's like the big brother that's very protective of his little brother and kind of teaches him, shows him the ropes. So that's my hope, is that they're going to continue down this path, because it so far has been just a joy to watch. So, but it's been interesting for me. And when I say interesting, I mean, I've been somewhat of an emotional wreck at times. Like, it's been kind of hard. I'm going to cry during this video. Crap. I am very much like a sentimental person, and nostalgia hits me hard sometimes. And I have a lot of nostalgia surrounding my oldest and his childhood. Like, it was just him and I for 4.5 years. Oh, almost 5 years. Almost 5. And even beyond that, like, yeah, no, it was just him and I for 5 years. And I threw myself into motherhood. Like, he was not planned. He was a surprise. Like the best surprise in the whole wide world. I was all in. That became my entire identity, was being this kid's mom. It's also been a really interesting experience for me. Sorry, there's a definite jump cut there because I went off on a tangent that then I wanted to like backpedal from because I wasn't making sense. But it's been interesting. I am a very emotional person. Like, emotions over logic a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times. Like, a lot of times I need to talk things through to like process them instead of just going with my, emotion. So my oldest, I was a single mom for the first 5 years. And I think that relationship dynamic kind of set the stage for how close we are. Like, it was just he and I. Like, yes, my family is here in the same city that I live in. But like day to day, it was just us. And I threw myself into mothering him, into this role. He was not planned. He was a surprise. And I very quickly realized that he was the best thing that happened to me at that point in my life. Like, it was not according to my plan. It was 100% a God thing. I he helped me grow up. And I wasn't like out being super irresponsible and stupid, but like he helped me focus. He helped me just be more responsible. So I definitely like my entire identity shifted, which it does when you become a mother, at least generally speaking. And I threw myself into it. And I have so many beautiful memories surrounding that kid's childhood and just his existence. And, you know, like I'm a fairly emotional person. Nostalgia and sentiment hit me very hard. I used to cry, like ugly cry on a regular basis because he was growing up. You want your kids to grow up. That's the gig. But it's like, I couldn't handle it. He was growing up so fast and I wanted to bottle it up. I just desperately wanted to capture every moment somehow so that I could relive it. So that has eased up a little bit in the past, like 3 years probably. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think it was probably like when I got pregnant, it eased up a little bit because I was like, oh, I've got another baby to dote on. Because I think with my oldest, I was just kind of resigned to the fact that he was just going to be an only child. Like I was a single mom. I had no desire to date. I only started dating again because my mom was like, you really should. It's time. So I had such negative experiences with men. And I didn't want to go there again. But anyways, all that to say, I was pretty content with it just being the two of us, but there was definitely this element of like, wanting it to last. Like I wanted him to stay a little kid forever. You know, it's like, oh, and I think that's a normal part of motherhood. Like, regardless of your circumstances, like there's always going to be like things about it that you just want to bottle up and keep on a shelf so that you can go back and revisit it whenever you want. I wanted to preserve his and my experience. Anyways, so I tend to get very emotional at times when I sit and think about like how freaking big he is. Like, oh my God, he was just a baby, I swear. And having another baby has actually made that feeling more intense at times because I'm like, I remember when Cade did that. Like Zeke will be doing something and it like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, this one's going to grow up too. And then what do we do? I'm going to be a complete mess when I have an empty nest. I'm just going to get a ton of dogs and a ton of cats. No, just dogs. I don't know. Maybe a raccoon, a couple bats. I get it. I totally understand why some women go off the deep end and end up with a bunch of pets because I could see that being me. Truly. They don't really talk about how bittersweet parenting is, but that's what it is. It's bittersweet. You want them to stay little and innocent. It's part of the need to protect them. You don't want them to have to experience the hard stuff. And that's the part that I think I'm struggling with, especially now going into the preteen years. Oh, my poor baby. He's a happy kid. He's well adjusted. He's doing fine. I used to worry about him all the time. But he really is. He's doing well. He's got really great friends. He's well liked for the most part. You know, I mean, he's not like the most popular kid at school, but he is happy. And he has so many like strengths of character. And I know that he's going to be fine. But I don't know, man. Middle school is looming. And then high school. And then he's gone. But he's not. Like, he's not going to just be gone. He's still going to be my kid, no matter what. But I can be really, like, fatalistic about stuff. I'm just like, it's going to be all over. And it's not. It's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. As long as I don't screw this up. There's so much pressure with parenting. Any misstep, and you can ruin their lives. I mean, seriously. I think that's something that, like, I don't know. I was going to say, I think that's something that I tend to forget, but I actually don't know that my brain ever allows me to truly forget that. I'm always worrying that I'm saying or doing something that is going to land him in therapy when he's 25. I'm just, don't mess it up. So it's just, I don't know. Parenting it's a trip. It's so much fun, but it is so flipping terrifying at the same time. And I just pray to God that I'm doing okay. I think one of my biggest struggles is like setting boundaries and sticking with them. I don't know. I saw a really good quote the other day that hit home, and it was something along the lines of, don't make their lives easier now, only to make it harder later. So that struck me as something that, that hit home. I have a tendency, I tend to be a yes man, or a yes man, a yes mom. I'm a yes mom. I like to say yes. It's the path of least resistance a lot of times. I like to just go with the flow and be like, okay, yeah, we can do that. But where is my powder? Oh, it's right here. Truly, that's not helpful. It's not. Like, and I know that, but part of me, I don't know. I think there's a balance that needs to happen. You need to be able to say yes to most of the fun stuff. Excuse me, I just burped and that's gross. But also have clear and consistent boundaries with what is not okay and not acceptable. And that's something that, like, I tend to just be maybe too easygoing to the point where I'm like, it's fine. Like, he had a friend over this past weekend, and Kay said or did something. He like had a tone with me, which that is happening more and more often now. Thank you, puberty. And anyways, his friend was like, if I had said that to my mom, I would have gotten smacked. And there were like a few other things that happened too, where the same friend said the same thing. And I'm sure he's right. Like, I think a lot of mothers would be like, you can't talk to me like that. And I'm just over here like, hey, buddy, that's not cool. Don't do that. But like, I'm not smacking anybody. Not that I think that you should, but I definitely felt like I need to be more mindful of how I'm responding to his disrespect, because we need to nip that in the bud now as opposed to later. Because I think if we wait until later, it's going to be very, very difficult. So it helped me realize that I need to maybe change some things about my approach. And I will say, like, that kid's mom is a phenomenal mother. Like, she's doing a really good job. And some kids, I think, definitely need those boundaries. Like, my kid included needs, I don't know. I'm not saying smack your kids. I'm saying be consistent with your boundaries and do what you need to do. And when he was saying smack, I really don't think he was meaning smack. I think he was just meaning like he'd get in trouble. That's my assumption anyways. I don't know. So yeah, but it made me kind of stop and think, okay, well, maybe I need to be a little bit more firm with him on an appropriate response to people. Is not with an attitude, it's okay to express frustration, but you still have to be respectful. That's the part that I think we need to maybe hammer home a little bit. But it's hard, man. Like, it's hard for me to always be that, like, stern mother figure. Like, that's not something that I'm great at. And I'm not trying to, like, be friends with the kid, but I am, hoping to maintain a positive, like, just have a good relationship with him. Essentially what I'm trying to say is that experience, like having those conversations with his friend, helped me realize that, like, I need to be more consistent with him. Like, other moms aren't out there putting up with this crap. Why am I putting up with it? So am I going to start spanking him? No. But I am going to be responding to it in a way that will work for myself and my child. One thing that they don't tell you about parenting, I think, is that consequences are, they oftentimes can be a punishment for the parent also, if not like the whole family. You know what I mean? It's like, and it can take this level of energy and commitment that, I may not always have. And that's the part that I think has been the most challenging for me, is just like finding the energy, the emotional energy to be that wall for him that teaches him those boundaries. It can be exhausting, and but it's something that, it's like, if there's something in my life that needs to be more consistent, that is for sure it. So yeah, that is my experience thus far with parenting in a nutshell. I could talk about this for a very long time. And there's obviously more to this than what I'm talking about at this point in time. But, yeah, I don't know. I hope this was entertaining a little bit, or insightful, or maybe you guys can relate as parents. Maybe you can relate as non-parents who want to be parents. I don't know. But at any rate, here's my face. And I'm going to leave it there. I've got another video to film. I'm going to film my new makeup releases video next. So if you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up, subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.